It's live on WOCA. The Source.
Welcome back to Ocala Talks. On a Monday, Sue Mosley in the room with us. She runs a political forum. It's the Marion County Political. Is it Marion County Political Forum?
Yeah, is that my claim to fame, my Facebook group, really?
Well, you know, it is what you do now in the media-wise.
I guess.
And you also have a video podcast. What's the name of it?
The Conversation.
With Sue Mosley.
Yeah.
It's actually been well received.
Sue Mosley and Tom Schmitz,
and
or Sheila Arnett. We kind of alternate.
Okay, I'm going to take a shot right now.
Go ahead.
Sheila's not running. What's up? I'm coming. What's up?
Sheila's had a bad. Sheila's
had
her,
a bad
has
year.
Had a bad year.
Sheila,
so. She'll be back.
When I look,
sure.
when I look at the year I've had, with the heart issues I've had and the back surgery and everything, I really feel bad for Sheila Arnett because Sheila's had a rougher year than I have, and I've had a bad year.
Yeah,
Sheila's had a rough year.
When you had a lot of death, it's not good.
But Sheila's a viable candidate.
She is a viable candidate.
And she stay when she's in it to win it.
Yeah, she's a smart lady. And, I don't know. There's a lot of people out there. Parrish Tanner's a great example of this. Delzato, they feel like they can come back later. I don't know if you can come back later because there's always a new crop festering. Again, though, right now what we're seeing is nobody really wants to take the plunge. They're intimidated. They get scared. They get threatened. Whatever's happening out there, we are not getting quality, strong
we're
candidates.
Not. And let me ask you this. How much of it do you think social media plays a part in keeping people on the sidelines?
People can tell you all day long that they don't care what's written about them, or they don't.
Lies.
But lies. It took me to 50 years old
lies.
To get to a point where I don't care. If you don't like me, I don't care. I'd have to care to care. I don't care enough. But it's hard for people. A lot of people don't. Look, I was called a whore. Can I say that? I was called a whore the other night for just enforcing a rule on my Facebook forum.
No, you were repeatedly referred to as a whore.
Repeatedly referred to as a whore, which
With
I
other
own
words,
2 bars, people. There is going to be very little you can say to me that's going to offend me.
With other words, to the point where I reached out to somebody and goes, "That's enough, tough guy."
Yeah.
Because now I noticed, and I'm not as nice as Sue. That's enough, tough guy.
You are truly like an enforcer, and I appreciate that.
Well, the thing is,
but it
just don't aggravate my wife or Sue Mosley. You're good.
If it was justifiable, it'd be one thing. But Facebook was tagging the post. The guy was swearing, bullying, calling people names. Obviously, I was just cleaning up. Friday night before I was heading out to the bar. And it was bothering. It was annoying me more than anything because of the Facebook notifications.
But is that are keyboard warriors?
Yeah,
I mean, are they really having that much influence on how people look at public office?
Maybe we need to, on my show, interview some people that dropped out and find out what was it that intimidated you? What was it that stopped you in your tracks? I know there was a gentleman who was running for school board, and he said, he couldn't do that. His family, it was too much. Let's look at learn from Bill Clinton. There's really nothing out there left that can, as far as
there's no
skeletons.
Gotcha moment. Yeah.
Right. I mean,
unless
you raped and murdered a 12-year-old.
Exactly.
We're pretty forgiving anymore of affairs and drug use
I did not have sex
smoking pot
with that woman.
Yeah.
Miss Lewinsky.
Oh, yeah. God, you're gonna make me say bad things. But yeah, I don't know if people just get overwhelmed. About the amount of money they need to raise. Raising money is a very intimidating process.
Having to ask people.
Because
you got to go into some people's
other
offices.
People's money.
You got to go into some powerful people's offices,
and
it's their money you're using.
Yeah, and they don't give freely. They'll give, but they make you work for it. They'll tell you, I'm going to write a check. They don't understand. I got to pay for that flyer this week. So I need you to write the check now that I'm standing here, not, a week before the election.
And then they walk into meetings that after you win the elections, they walk into meetings to make sure that you do what they want you to do.
They want you to do. Well, and that, I'm glad you touched on that because that's another issue that I'm having is with the influential, wealthy billionaire boys club that we seem to have in this town that are swaying elections. And it's kind of like, why should we even bother to vote? They decide who they want in office, and that's that.
Well, I read a political science professor's book, put out a writing about 15, 16 years ago that struck a chord with me, and I go, God, he's right. And he talked about the presidential election. Only the presidential election. He goes, we tout that we freely elect a president of the United States when we don't.
No.
And his paper basically said, we elect who big business give us to elect. Big business is happy with the Republican and the Democratic candidate, or they wouldn't have enough money to be there.
That's right.
So Donald Trump kind of turned that on his head by having his own money. But up until that point, when you think about it, we don't freely elect. We freely elect. We have a choice.
What corporations
A or
want.
B. We don't freely
And we
elect.
never really had that in my 30 years in Marion County. We've always had the influence of the big money developers. We've had their influence, but now we seem to have them strong arming. You know, they're lining up with the CEP, which makes them even a bigger power base, and you know they're throwing a lot of money around at candidates, and you know
you got contractors that are doing well.
I've said the age-old adage in politics: he with the most money wins. And you know Kathy Bryan is a great example of that. She went out in November, the week she qualified. She filed $125,000, all developers, all the usual suspects, on her first candidate report. They gave her $125,000 to annihilate any competition. Oh, you know, competition is good. If you're a good politician, you shouldn't worry about competition because you've done good things and you'll be reelected freely. If you're worried, if you're that scared, you know.
Let it be said, Sue Mosley, not the biggest proponent of Kathy Bryant, Commissioner.
You got to admit, though, it's a very good example.
Yes, it is.
Of what I'm saying,
of course
it's a very good example.
An incumbent goes out, says, hey, am I doing a good enough job for you? If I am, give me money so I can crush anybody that comes out and tries to stop me from doing the job I'm doing for you.
For that particular special interest group.
Whether it be contractors, whether it be
developers, casinos,
casino, whatever it is.
That's what's if you scrutinize that report, it's really specific to special interests.
But these special interest groups have always been involved in elections.
And they've always been good donors of money. I mean, a lot of them donated to me, probably all of them.
Right.
You know, but we want to start letting them pick our candidates?
But what I haven't
solely
it's got me in the last two elections is it's not that they're picking candidates. I feel like they're picking candidates that will do their marching orders.
Correct.
And that is a problem.
That's a problem.
Because that gets into king-making and queen-making.
It's, we're seeing that more and more on a really large
by the way,
financial
it started
scale.
It started with me when I first noticed it. And I know people say, Tom, you pick on this guy all the time. But it started with me when David Moore, who was county commissioner at the time.
And let's make no secret that Tom is not a fan.
Not at all.
Imagine that. Tom doesn't like somebody.
By the way, I will tell you first and foremost. You're more of a fan of Kathy Bryant than I am of David Moore. Okay? I'll be the first to tell you that. I've never in my life endorsed a candidate except one time. And I didn't care what it took. I was in Daniel Owen's corner and by the way, put me at odds with you.
Yes, it did.
Because you and I we didn't see eye to eye during that election.
No, we didn't.
But, brothers and sisters have arguments. That's what happens.
It is what it is. That's right. That's one thing you can count on with us.
Yeah.
We're going to hold strong. We aren't unified in our likes and dislikes.
That group, hold on. We got it. We're up against a break. I got my wife calling in. She wants to make a point. So
got a lot going on.
I got a lot going on.
Are you answering the phone first?
But the first time I noticed it was the David Moore, Daniel Owen, when Victory 360 got involved.
Oh, yeah.
And Victory 360 didn't get involved as a consultant. Victory 360 got involved as a kingmaker.
Yes.
And it's evolved, it's evolved from that beginning.
And that's where I have a problem with these people who've never run for office or served in office that are now political consultants.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Well, that's a whole different ballgame.
Yeah.
We'll have more with Sue Mosley on the other side of the break. Hour number 3 on the way.
You're talking to your wife.
1370 AM, 96.3 FM. This is WOCA. The Source.
Broadcasting from the Ocala International Airport, this is WOCA AM, W242CA FM, Ocala.